Just a little wordplay for the people. You against me were so juxtaposed. One position froze, that's just opposed. Took the rookies out the game, now it's just the pros. On the black top, no flat tops, it's just the froze. Lo and behold, did you know I'm a man that can't be vandalized, even through a vandal's eyes. If he violates it on the ground is where that vandal lies. Wordplay. On my streets, my peeps commit massacres. Even in the Catholic Church where mass occurs. The pastor at gunpoint at one point held for ransom. Now walking with God wouldn't have happened if he ran some. Random. The universe is infinite. A baby blanket isn't as good if it's one that an infant knit. Did I mention this? Peace is just an exercise. She wants a man taller than her. I guess her ex her size. Wordplay. There's so much fire in my sentence, I should go camping. Sentence. Once everyone is intense, things get more intense. For instance, I'm not too fond of passive activists, cause I'm not sure they know what being active is. Being too much of an optimist can make one optimist. The flaws in one's logic that may contradict. And common sense, hell, hasn't been common since the odor of ego and arrogance have become the world's common sense. I'm convinced. The consequence for confidence and consciousness is conjugate. You know, convicts getting screwed over by laws made by congressmen. I condemn any kind of wordplay that reduces audiences to condiments. Catch up. The con to this is that I'm cognizant that all these words work the same way. They're like communist. Wordplay. Ten things I wish I could tell my grandmother. One, I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. Two, I've tried not to hate God for taking you away from me. Sometimes it's hard not to. Three, the day you passed, my aunt, your sister, went to the front lawn and ripped the grass from the ground as if she knew that your spirit had gone back into the earth, and the lifeless blades between her fingertips were all the pieces of you that she had left. Four, some days I wake up and I'm still crying. But I tell myself everything will be okay. 5, I don't know if everything will be okay. 6, I love you, Benita and Larry. 7, in Spanish, Benita means pretty. I pray that if I have a daughter, she looks just like you. I pray that she'll be pretty. 8, I cannot remember the last time I've said your name out loud, but I will never forget the last time I saw you. 9, when you said that Grandpa was calling you to be with him, why did you say yes? 10, sometimes I call your phone just to listen to your voicemail, just to hear your voice one last time. 11, I chose the number 10 before I started writing this 12. August 13th for me will always be a day of silence. 13. I graduated college. I'm doing pretty well for myself. My mother misses you every day. She says she still feels your presence. IKEA had 4 beautiful children. They all have your eyes. Ike and Isaiah are still being them. And Desi finally graduated. I know you would have been so proud. 14. I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. When I say I love you more than anything else in the world, I mean it. Okay, honestly, my work is more important. So I never said things like, we will be together forever. Because I always thought, she's probably not the one for me. Not once do I think, this will lead to marriage. Sometimes I believe, after all the things we've been through, it's time to let it go. My pride has kept us here. However, now I know things aren't going to work out. I can't say I will always want you, because I know the truth of the matter is, love is a dangerous thing. Love is a dangerous thing. The truth of the matter is, because I know I will always want you, I can't say things aren't going to work out. However, now I know my pride has kept us here. It's time to let it go. After all the things we've been through, sometimes I believe this will lead to marriage. Not once do I think she's probably not the one for me. Because I always thought we will be together forever. So I never said things like, my work is more important. Okay, honestly, I mean it. When I say I love you more than anything else in the world. Do you remember our conversation about love? How special it was? What it meant to your mother? Do you remember being a boy? No, you do not. Because there are no boys around here. Only men who have not yet been broken. Do you remember 7 years old? Being asked by your mother to protect her? Do you remember her blood on the front porch? Walking by it every morning before school, reminding you of your failures. Do not cry. I'm only asking you for your memories. Do you remember our conversation about love? what it meant to the woman you laid with. How your 20-year-old face looked 13 years younger when you failed to protect your seed. You talk about growth a lot. But do you even know what that means? You've been the same ball of pain for all these years. Does growth not mean change? When you look in your reflection, does it not show you anything different after all this time? Do not cry, little broken man boy. I'm only asking you for your memories. If you remember our conversation about love, how could you think it was for you? How could you think it was yours? If it was never yours, how could you give it to someone else? Your own father couldn't even give it to you. I am your life, and I give you sorrow. It is yours to have and to hold till death do you part, and even death may not be enough to part this union. You thought you could run? Boy, the day you were born, trouble was waiting for you at the door. You can yell to as many audiences as you like, but they will never hear you. You can tell them you are hurting, and they will clap. You can tell them how damaged you are, and they will call it powerful. And one day, when you are gone, they will cheer. I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. I remember our conversation about love. I remember thinking you were right. 7-year-old men should protect their abused mothers. I remember it all. From the blood, to the screams, to the nightmares that would keep me up for years to come. I remember blaming myself for not being strong enough, for not being man enough, for being too much elementary school student and not enough 6-foot warrior. I remember our conversation about love. Trust me. How my 20-year-old self took responsibility for something that only God could be blamed for. I am not God. The only power a man has to make grow is his own. You are correct. Growth means change. And when I look into the mirror, I see tomorrow. My yesterdays will never change. So I cannot grow by living there. I remember our conversation about love. And you were wrong. That 7-year-old was a boy. And I am no broken man. And I will not blame him for not being more than what he was. Just a boy. I lay to rest my old agony and leave sorrow as a widow to die alone. I do not blame my father for not giving me something that cannot be given. Love does not belong to anyone. It is shared by those who first accept it within themselves. So I will yell in front of every audience. They may never hear me, but they will feel what I speak. I will tell them I was hurting, and they will clap because they see that the pain is over. I will tell them how damaged I was, and they will call it powerful because they see that I'm still standing and I am still strong. And one day, when I am gone, these poems will stand like monuments engraved in their hearts and in their minds, and the world will know that I was here. And despite my life and all of its troubles, I too am able to love. Just a little wordplay for the people. You against me were so juxtaposed, one position froze, that's just a... Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate.
Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people don't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Hello everybody, my name is Andre Davis. Just wanted to open up with a piece by Marion Williamson. That is actually the piece that I say to myself every morning before I start my day. It's a wonderful way of getting yourself in the mindset of knowing that you shouldn't suppress yourself or suppress your greatness. You should go out and share your greatness with the world. So I'm grateful and thankful to not only share my human experience with y'all, for everybody watching, but also just having the opportunity to still be here and express myself, considering everything that's going on out here with this pandemic. This pandemic thing is crazy. Big shout out to xBk, Station 1. We in xBK right now. You know what I'm saying? We out here doing the thing. So today, this is gonna be a real chill night. I got a nice set up for y'all, you feel me? But we also gonna take it slow. Also on top of that, we got this Q&A going on. So everybody who's tuned in to the live session, send in questions, because I'm gonna answer your questions live, right here, right now. So send them in. So as I'm going through these songs and I'm telling you stories on how we made them and what's going on with me and all of that, if you got any questions on anything that you're hearing tonight or anything you just want to know, I can't leave. So you got me right here for the next hour or so to trap me in any question that you want right now. So go ahead and send them in. So yeah, so for this first joint, I think it's only right, since today I'll be debuting this new single that I'm dropping soon. I think it is only right to start with the first single I've ever dropped, and it's a song called Escape. And it's essentially about this deep love that I have for music and its ability to take us to places outside of the areas that hurt, or allow us to see those areas of hurt in a different light that doesn't feel as bad. So yeah, Escape. Andre Davis. Yo. I pay attention as my mind grows, meditating with my eyes closed, sending all my energy into my goals. I wonder how it really feels to be free, but only God knows. Mom's worry about bills, it's been stressing her for real, and I feel it getting to me. I just truly wanna chill, so inside my ride, my music create the vibe, got me floating in my mind. I'm just going with the tide. The artist at the top of your list, make music, but it's not like this. It is not like this. I'ma let it rock like this. If you love hip-hop like this, then come and rock with me. The artist at the top of your list, make music, but it's not like this. It is not like this. I'ma let it rock like this. If you love hip-hop like this, then come and rock with me. The artist at the top of your list, make music, but it's not like this. It is not like this. It is not like this. I guarantee you it is not like this. It is not like this. I guarantee you. Not like this. True peace is something hard to find, but I feel it with this heart of mine. When I rhyme, I can tell frustration. Life is really feeling like a game of operation. I'm just hitting the edge, all I'm seeing is red. But instead, I face everything I go through. Cause getting life on track can't be fixed by Pro Tools or a trip to Whole Foods. I'm old school, I thrive on soul food. That's that Erica Badu. This the movement that your body gotta move with. The point you realize, the realizing what the truth is. Overcoming obstacles is all we doing. We going through it, so all I need is my music. The artist at the top of the list, make music. Yeah.
It is not like this.
I'ma let it rock like this. If you love hip hop like this, then
Come and rock with me.
the artist at the top of your list. We make music, but it's not like this.
It is not like this.
I'ma let it rock like this. If you love hip hop like this,
Then come and rock with me.
the artist at the top of your list. Make music, but it's not like this.
It is not like this.
It is not like this. I guarantee you
It is not like this.
it's not like this. I guarantee you
It's not like this.
Out the darkness I arose for all of those who oppose. This mic is my scythe. I'm the Grim Reaper, snatching your soul out your skeleton. Your bars so irrelevant, I know. So I let your body rest next to your mediocre flows. It's demonic when I'm rhyming, so melodic and hypnotic. Your girl nodding her head, almost knocked off a bonnet. I'm the subatomic bomber, fire rhymers, ain't no timer. This what happened when you release the beast out of bondage. It's that ether mixed with who shot you. I move proper, so much hip hop in my blood, I confuse doctors. I meditate and elevate over all of my new problems. So tell Erica Badu to get some of this root chakra. Hip hop's alive, and nigga, I'm the proof. I only hang around gods, Mount Olympus, where we rendezvous. Came to tell the truth to all the people y'all been lying to. My advice, you should run it hot, nigga, if I was you. I'm immaculate, the passionate activist who attacking shit. I treat the beat just like it's Lazarus. Bring it back and mummify the hardest artist just so he know who he rapping with. Passing out humility once they see my abilities. I keep it so live, I'm the cure for infertility. Are you kidding me? Abort mission if you dissing me. Unless your fictitious writtens I'm ripping up viciously, then use the head of my enemies as a centerpiece. My demeanor the meanest, the warrior of this region, serving whoever stepped to the line. This isn't Venus, I'm not even at my peak, hardly reaching my zenith. You passing out food for thought, but ain't none of it seasoned. I take it with a grain of salt because I hardly believe it. You caught the itis from biting all of my flows, I'm exciting. Use these words like they lightning, leave you shocked from my writing. All y'all do is ride the wave, now you facing Poseidon. Look, I do not play with rappers, I Darth Vader rappers. Tell them I'm their father in room. Lightsaber rappers, cutting them off for thinking they going hard. Who the fuck do you think you are, stepping to me with average bars? I'm the god. You more like the Wizard of Oz, behind curtains getting exposed for the fake that you are. Look, no one can give me criticism on my lyricism. Chasing bread, but not the kind that you be giving pigeons. Your bars weak. Mine compete with prison systems, and I'm still going harder than the killers who living in them. What? That's just some quick, quick bars for the hip-hop heads out there who just fuck with wordplay and nice shits like that. So, have to just throw that in there for my peoples. I know y'all out here watching. I know I got a bunch of the homies tuned in, so they always love when, you know what I'm saying, you got to put some heat on the mic, you know what I'm saying? So I fucks with that. Yeah, every song here tonight is on my album, When It Rains. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, pretty much any place that you consume music. You can find When It Rains, except for the debut single that I'm pushing out at the end. So if you love anything that you hear, go ahead and stream that album, or go ahead and share it with your homies. Let them know we out here, we making shit happen. And if you are tuned in, don't forget, send in them questions, because we answering all the questions live here, you feel me? So any questions you need me to make sure that I'm answering, you got me right now for almost an hour, so you know what I mean? Go ahead, get it off your chest. All right? And while you sitting there thinking of your questions, and while you getting that together right now, we about to go ahead and head into this next joint. You already know the kind of vibes we setting in this motherfucker. That boom bap. Yeah. Andre, this is your conscience telling you to be honest. You know that throughout the day you just run away from your problems. You left behind your family. How could you leave mama in a place that isn't safe when you promised that you would watch her? A nigga put his hands on her, you were supposed to stop him. You acting just like your father and you swore that you were not him. But you're never around, never around. Won't even talk to your folks, but you confess to a crowd. Hiding all the emotions you neglect with a smile and think that that's impressive somehow. Let's break you down. You've been thinking about the pressure, contemplating depression. How can you be the one when you can't keep it together? You falling apart, bleeding all on these pages and calling it art, fearing that these words is all that you are. That's why you give them all of your heart. You think that they won't love you for who you are. Keep dreaming with your eyes open. How can I fall asleep when I never have peace? Keep dreaming with your eyes open. In the mirror I ask myself, what do you see? Keep dreaming with your eyes open. A reflection of everything that I'm destined to be. Keep dreaming with your eyes open. But I don't know, is this a nightmare or a dream? Looking back on the mistakes of my past, I gotta ask, did you think happiness would ever last in a place where they blast for the purpose of making cash and blame it on the fact they only chasing the bag? So I run from these thoughts. When it's dark, I take a walk and find myself on the swing of a deserted park. I envision a group of toddlers and become bothered, feeling like the miscarriage makes me less of a father than the one who wasn't there for me. I hate our similarities, but my conscience keeps on telling me, Andre, you got problems, you should see somebody. If you quit fucking around, you could be somebody instead. I walk around like you don't need nobody. How you searching for the truth but don't believe nobody? This is real. When was the last time you prayed? Too busy going astray, so you're still trying to find your way. Keep dreaming with your eyes open. How can I fall asleep when I never have peace? Keep dreaming with your eyes open. In the mirror I ask myself, what do you see? Keep dreaming with your eyes open. A reflection of everything that I'm destined to be. Keep dreaming with your eyes open, but I don't know. Throughout the night I toss and turn from the memories that burn in my brain, from the pain that I could never discern from reality. My reflection is steady asking me, what is a nightmare when your life is a tragedy? What is the strategy of not becoming a casualty while still maintaining a solid sense of morality? I live in a world where agony is a masterpiece. I meditate to try to master peace, but my mind won't forget my memories as a kid, waking up out of bed and finding out what he did. The man that my mama loved, the one that I tried to trust, was the reason the front porch was covered in blood. Seeing my mother suffer on a stretcher made me wonder, why didn't I just get up and try to kill that motherfucker? I was 9, but I believed her protector was me, but I couldn't, cause it happened while I was asleep. So keep dreaming with your eyes open. So that's the nightmares joint. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I love the vibe on that. That shit is beautiful. Sophie, we got any questions? Any questions come in yet? We Gucci?
We do. So we have one question from Paul.
Hey.
So we also have, Paul also wrote, the flow and deliver is on point for your first song. But his question is, how is performing your music different than performing your poetry?
Well, I think for poetry, it was mostly just about me expressing what I was feeling, and there was no real consideration of other people. It was mostly like, there's something I gotta get off my chest, and I'm just about to say what I have to say. And then that was it. That was it for me in poetry. Music, I take a lot more consideration of other people and how they're experiencing the music as well, because music is more of a collaboration. Music is not only me expressing myself, but also me sharing it with the world and then them receiving it and their relationships with it. Example, the first song, Escape, I had a friend of mine tell me how it helps her with her anxiety. So she listened to it to help calm herself. So knowing that that is existing in the world, I can't just be selfish with my expression. I have to be cognizant of how my music is affecting people. So when I come and I perform music, I'm usually giving it with the intention of like affecting people in a way that is positive, as opposed to poetry. I'm like, listen, however you take it, hey, is this however you gonna take it? I just gotta get this off. Boom. So that's the major difference between when I'm performing music and when I'm performing poetry. Thank you, Paul. That's my brother. I love Paul. That's my man. This next song is a song about vices. I used to tell people that I don't have vices, which is not true. I do not smoke and I do not drink, but that does not mean I do not have vices. I found out the hard way this summer that I am a workaholic, and that is not something to be proud of. I didn't even know it was possible. I ended up working myself into a series of seizures, and I didn't even know that was even possible. I'm like, oh, what the what? But not getting enough sleep, processing too much information, doing too much. So to all the workaholics out there, sleep, drink water, and schedule time for relaxation and self-care. So, yeah. So this next joint is Too Sober to Live. Oh yeah, this got that little bop to it. Yeah, it's that shit.
So you smoke or you drink to deal with the pain. You've been running around, it's calling your name. So you try to forget the things that you're dealing with, but you're not giving in. I think you're too sober to live, too sober to live, too sober. Too sober to live, too sober to live, too sober.
So you telling me you ain't never drink, you just sit around in parties and just sit around and think about the issues of existence and the stresses that it bring? That sounds unbearable, that's a terrible way to be. Moses found God in a burning bush. Hell, my homies found God when they was burning kush. A little bit of weed get you high enough to overlook the problems that you've been facing. You can change it if you smoking good. We went to the dirt dentist to make those lessons vanish, cause with age comes more understanding. Sometimes you need a little sip, just a little bit. What's wrong with going out just to get a little lit? You having problems with your family, Papa Zanny, they can come in handy. I'm speaking truth, but don't misunderstand me. Everybody has a past, we just dealing with the bad. So when I see you out, I gotta ask you,
Smoke or you drink to deal with the pain. You've been running around, it's calling your name. So you try to forget the things that you're dealing with, but you're not giving in. I think you're too sober to live, too sober to live, too sober, too sober, too sober to live, too sober, too sober, too sober.
so let me ask you, what's the point of getting high? Are you really that afraid of what's going on in your mind? Growing up, I looked around and noticed all of the signs which led me to this place of being sober all the time. My cousin incarcerated, my granny was on crack. She been gone over 10 years and ain't never coming back. Her son was the one that found her body and he snapped and started getting high. Every day after that, his little brother sold pills, almost got himself killed. Bullet went through his spine, I'm just happy that he lived. His sister has 4 kids, now she pregnant with the 5th because she's sick of death and want more life to exist. So you can call it fun, but that ain't how it look to me. I ain't taking drugs till it get back what it took for me. You think that feeling nothing is the best way to get by, but if you feel numb, how you know you still alive?
Smoke or you drink to deal with the pain. You've been running around, it's calling your name. So you try to forget the things that you're dealing with, but you're not giving in. I think you're too sober to live, too sober to live, too sober, too sober, too sober to live, too sober to live, too sober, too sober.
So that's Too sober to live. Also, big shout out to Paul. Paul is like a brother to me. He's also one of those friends who is also about this sober life. So shout out to him. For the longest, we were just those dudes who were like, yeah, bro, we not out here drinking, smoking. We Gucci. Oh, man. Oh, I heard parched. So this next joint is Never Leave, and Never Leave was one of those real joints. So, you know, just about the environment that I grew up in and having to navigate that environment. And then after making it out of that environment, still having those habits that come with me and trying to recognize the value in those habits, but also trying to control them and not let those things control me. So, you know, yeah, it's one of those personal joints, but that's pretty much everything on the album When It Rains. So if you want the personal joints, I got them for you. And again, while we out here getting this music bracking, send in those questions, because y'all got me here, so I'm going to answer them. So while y'all thinking in those questions, we're going to go ahead and get it moving. I love how chill this fucking beat is. Yeah.
I'm from a city where the young die first, where it's hard to get a job, so they cop work. Mama teaching every single verse from Proverbs. Sober for her son, take your life, he talked to God first. It's such a contradiction, steady repenting for forgiveness, asking God for virtue, when he know that he wicked. Speaking to Jesus ain't enough to guarantee a journey up. He see God in true religion and puffs of angel dust, and that's it. Street fights left him with cracked ribs. His broken neighborhood is exactly where crack lives. He ain't got nothing on his plate, but there's just so much at stake. Before he sleep, he tell the Lord, don't let me die before I wake. Please don't let the devil take my soul away in this unholy place. Yes, this is my home, but I can't let this shit control my fate. No, I can't let this shit control my fate. Look, you can leave the hood, but the hood will never leave you. Dog, I don't believe you. You say it's greener on the other side. I gotta see proof. You can leave the hood, but the hood will never leave you. Dog, I don't believe you. You say it's greener on the other side. I gotta see proof. Look, so many weapons in my repertoire. My pad is like a reservoir. Bar so heavenly, ain't no telling me what my errors are. Check the scars, pain and adversity is my boulevard. Death around the corner, drawing bodies with the chalk. If you caught, then your head get took off. You better manage to maneuver the street. Entrepreneurs selling rock by the sewer. They the trap connoisseurs who blame it on the schooling for not telling what to do when the block is in the drought. They need money for the house, and TSA not on the way to help them with getting out. So cop a chopper if you feel hard. Money's what we kill for. Souls decompose for that dollar bill, y'all. Even when they get it, you know life is still hard, cause you still gotta live with everything you did for it. It's the root of all evil, so will God forgive for it? I don't know. So you can leave the hood, but the hood will never leave you. Dog, I don't believe you. You say it's greener on the other side. I gotta see proof. You can leave the hood, but the hood will never leave you. Dog, I don't believe you. You say it's greener on the other side. I gotta see proof. The key to making a proper judgment about someone or a situation is understanding. Before I condemn others, I ask myself, do you know their circumstance? Are they not human just like you? Have a family just like you? Put yourself in their shoes. Face the demons they face. And only from that place of understanding can I say that this is wrong. Without understanding, who am I to judge anybody on anything that they do? Nobody. I'm nobody. That's another one of them joints. What we looking like on them questions, Sophie? We good?
Okay, lay it on me.
So the first one is when did you start writing?
Um, I've been writing for a very long time. Um, I've been writing essentially the earliest I can remember is like 6 years old, and I was trying to write a rap because I just know I was infatuated with words, and I knew that there was things that I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say them to the people around me. So I figured I'm like, okay, well maybe if I just like try to write them down first, and then somehow it ended up turning into a rap, and it was a terrible rap. But I just remember the people around me who I did share it with. They're like, "Oh my God, like you're only 6 and you out here writing like this." And I'm like, I guess. And I ended up getting a lot of encouragement from the people that I did share it with. And after that, I was like, okay, cool. Well, this may be just an avenue for me to express myself. But I was always really like to myself with it because I always wrote things that were really personal, and I didn't want people to be rejecting me for, like you 6 years old, what problems you got to deal with? I'm like, you don't know my life, fam. It's rough out here. Yeah. So what's the other question?
Yeah, so MK47 is curious to know if all your songs so far are autobiographical. I can't say the word.
Biographical. Yeah.
There we go. Or if some are not directly about your own life.
Well, first, I love you, MK47. That's the first joint. I love MK47. Big shout out to MK47. So most of them is autobiographical, but there is definitely aspects of my story that are not my own that have contributed to my story. So a lot of my music, if I'm not speaking from it just directly about my life or from my perspective, I am trying to also paint the stories that are around me that have influenced my life and my story as well. So with the last song, Too Sober to Live, I talk about my uncle and well, both of my uncles and their life and their struggle with addiction, and I talk about my aunt and her having children and being afraid for her children, um, and trying to get away from death and trying to create life. So yeah, so a lot of it is autobiographical. A lot of it is just me and my story, but there's also a decent chunk of the people's story around me and how they've impacted me. Yeah. Is that all of them for now? No, we can do it. Yeah. They got me.
Okay, so what music artists would you consider a major influence?
Major influence? Okay, so this is a really difficult question because I love a large array of artists. So like when I'm trying to like really get into that passionate part of me, I gotta listen to a bunch of DMX. Uh, as a kid, I was a huge DMX fan. Like that was my guy. I love Pac. If I'm sitting there trying to do on some like smooth, chill shit, I gotta play some Sade, Alicia Keys. I'm playing some Bobby Womack. I love the Dells. You know what I'm saying? For the people who know who the Dells are, you know. Yeah, I have a large array of artists who have influenced me. It honestly, it's too long of a list, but yeah, Immortal Technique, NWA, yeah, it's a large array, but yeah, I have a bunch of artists who I love, and that's just a few of them. What's the other question?
Yeah, we can do one more and then back to them.
Yeah.
So what prompted your interest to start performing music, and how has your style as an artist evolved over time?
Well, essentially, what was happening was I was just performing poetry at open mics. I had written music a lot, but I kept it to myself because I didn't really want to give it out to the world yet. And then I had met Toby Parks, and she's like, "Nope, I love what you're doing with this poetry. We want you to really come be a part of the Station One family, and we, really want to explore your poetry and essentially all your talents. Let's see where this goes. And essentially, it was like, all right, cool. If we doing poetry, and then we dropped the poetry jazz sessions, and they had like the instrumentals in the back, and I'm like, we pretty much making music, so I might as well just take the real deep dive into music and just really go for it. And I remember just trying to rap and just be like, nah. And then my producer, shout out to Jeremy J, shout out to Gabe as well. But Jeremy was the one who pushed me. He was like, hey, you have a decent singing voice. Like, you should come in and like put some vocals on this. I'm like, no, I'm not singing. I'm only coming on here to rap. Leave me alone. But he really pushed me to really, like, you have a decent voice. Don't limit yourself. Like, you can rap and that's great. You got bars, that's great. But just utilize it. So that's been a really big part of me and my music journey as well, of not limiting myself to just my writing or just my rapping or just my poetry, but really just maximizing my talent as much as possible. Yeah, so thank you. Keep sending in questions. We got this next joint. What is the next one? There's Curse My Name? No. The next one is Andre's Prayer. Oh, that's actually perfect. Yeah. So let's go ahead and, drop that for me. I love the fucking sitar on this. Like, I don't know too many rap songs that have sitars in them, but this definitely has to be one of the few. This shit is so fucking fire. Yo. Speaking to the Messiah, almighty provider, I'm asking about what happened with my experience prior, my baptism by fire, forged to be the iron, swore to fight the wars for all the children of Zion, praying that I'm maintaining a certain sense of refinement, trying to be enlightened while also seeking alignment. I look to the sky to answer the questions I have struggled with in my mind, but I never happen to find the proper understanding for being reprimanded by God who flooded the whole planet but sent me the first commandment. I was asking the Reverend to give my family protection. He told me to talk to you if I was seeking perfection. So I worship with a purpose, but you gave me neglection. If I'm made in your image, then come and face your reflection. My cousins were murdered by demons with automatic weapons. If we living in hell, how is life still a blessing? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? You swore that you would always walk with me. They told me to never question the very essence of the one responsible for my presence, but I'm hard-headed. You're redirected at the message of what you did on the 7th. If you're all-powerful, why the hell were you resting? Tell me, how can you tell us to never put any doubt in you when death is bountiful? They say that kids are safe without an ounce of proof. I'm not down to you, as the people still hold your name high. I hold your name accountable for all the obscene automatic machines that ring throughout the hood, causing disastrous scenes and the pain that it brings to many family trees. I've seen monsters of this world, no psychic girl, but stranger things happen where I'm from. Kids dying over guns. I guess you paid the price when you got insufficient funds. You had 3 days of losing your only one. What about mamas that gotta forever bury their sons? Huh? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? God, please, can you hear me? God, can you hear me? Is it blasphemous to tell you that you abandoned us alone in our environment and all its disadvantages, blaming us for not overcoming poverty's challenges because we look to you to prove something miraculous could happen in our lives if we kept paying our tithes? When my uncle needed a guide, you pushed him aside. Now they want to charge him with a homicide because he had a 9 instead of a 9 to 5. So I cry for the suffering of him and other men whose entire life is stuck within the cycle of shooting rifles and ducking them. The role models that we follow got 100 clips and say they better load or get shot while buffering. How are you still good and watch people be hurt? Why did Uncle John's mom die screaming in church? Why did I lose my grandma at the age of 13? Why do my mother's screams ring in all of my dreams? Answer me.
speaking to the Messiah, Almighty Provider. I'm asking about what happened. Forged to be the iron, sword to fight the wars for all the children. Trying to be enlightened while also seeking alignment. So that's one of my favorites. I love that one. Usually after that, I get a lot of questions like, okay, so are you Christian or are you not Christian? You have a bunch of biblical references in your music. I am not a Christian. I was raised Christian for a long time. And it wasn't until I got to college that I really gave myself the freedom to be like, hey, this is what has been imposed on you for all these years, but you have an opportunity here to really explore and learn more and see if this is what you really want to commit yourself to. So I haven't been Christian since then. Right now, I'm a pantheist, and pantheism is the belief that God is the same, interchangeable, synonymous with the universe. It's synonymous with existence. So the same way that your blood cells are a part of you is the same way that we are a part of the universe. We are a part of God, and this is God experiencing humanness. So yeah, that's my religious beliefs. We got any more questions over there, Sophie? We Gucci? Oh, we got the next one is Curse My Name. Yeah. Curse My Name is special to me. Curse My Name is definitely one of those songs that didn't take very long to write. And that's usually, at least in my experience, has always been my better songs. That last one, Andre's Prayer, I think took 30 minutes or like 45 minutes to write, because I kind of just got into a space. I don't know, I have no word to describe the space yet, but this is the space. And that's where that space where everything I'm just writing is just pouring out, and it's just coming out exactly how I want it. So that was Andre's Prayer. Didn't take any time to write, and Curse My Name didn't take that long to write either. So yeah. Nature versus nurture, where do you stand as a searcher of truth? I found no proof as a constant observer that my circumstance has no effect on my desire to go and hurt a man. Lay him 6 feet under in order for him to understand the harsh effects of this environment do not reflect on my intent and my defense. The price for your happy life is always paid on my expense. So common sense has let me know that the world is the one that I'm against. At 13, I was robbed on Halloween for all the candy that I had in my bag. You should have seen how heartless I was then. I'm telling you ever since, I promised myself that it would never happen again. Skeptical of all my friends, not all that I am is a mad St. Louis nigga with a pad and a pen, writing down all of my sins, hearing people convince the world that I'm at fault for all these chain of events. So curse my name for all the wrongs that I've done. Throw dirt on my name for all the killers with guns. I'm the one to blame for every scar when they're young. So curse my name, curse my name.
Yeah.
I'm to blame for mass incarceration.
Right.
I'm at fault for the greed of corporations. The scapegoat for all of civilization.
Okay.
Curse my name. Curse my name.
Curse.
Curse my name. Curse my name. Curse my motherfucking name. Curse my name. Curse my name. Curse my motherfucking. Look, fighting my urges by putting words into verses, burying all of my skeletons, hoping they don't resurface. So I look at my family life and see what heaven can be like. I lay my story at the mic and use it as a sacrifice. The hard hitter, intelligent bar spitter, you must never forget. So I'll always remember, I still gotta love the lost niggas who likely would've fought Hitler but were raised behind bars as they bar mitzvah. They make the rules, defund the schools and blame the youth for all the trouble that they get into. The road to destruction destruction has always been cyclical. It's despicable. Kids believe in ghost writers, but can't tell you about the spiritual. I recognize the judgment for all my people's corruption, but those same judges never recognize the construction of the plan for the people that don't really help them. So when the critics start talking, all I do is tell them, look, curse my name for all the wrong that I've done. Throw dirt on my name for all the killers with guns. I'm the one to blame for every scar when they're young. So curse my name, curse my name. I'm to blame for mass incarceration. I'm at fault for the greed of corporations. The scapegoat for all of civilization. Curse my name, curse my name. Curse my name, curse my name. Curse my motherfucking name. Curse my name, curse my name. Curse my motherfucking. I emerge from the depths of those that face disrespect by the folks who would never know what it's like battling death on the daily. The only safety that we have is on the strap, but if you caught with it on, then where's the safety in that? I have a warrior mentality, tragedy coming after me. Agony is the tapestry decorating reality for all the black fathers that bother taking the proper road to prosper in a world of no honor. Pleading your honor, set me free. Look at the price that I paid in a world of injustice. Just tell me what's to be gained. The streets or a coliseum. Tell me what's to be slain. Don't tell me we can dance and die. Are you not entertained? Do you think that we're all the same? Do you want we're on the chain? Do you act based on your heart, or do you want an exchange? What solutions do you arrange, or do you only complain? Oh, I get it. You're just looking for somebody to blame. Okay, curse my name for all the wrong that I've done. Dirt on my name for all the killers with guns. I'm the one to blame for every scar on the young. So curse my name, curse my name. I'm to blame for mass incarceration. I'm at fault for the greed of corporations. The scapegoat for all of civilization. Curse my name, curse my name. Contemplating greatness always seems to be the basic way to lead to my hiatus from entertaining. I hate the thought of being famous. My mind is way too dangerous, but speaking truth just feels like the reason I was created. Some call it courageous. I just call it the day shift. Working hard to body anybody on your playlist. As of recent, I've been dreaming, hearing screaming from my demons, telling me that my achievements only leading to the treatment. JFK got in that Lincoln. Headaches happen more frequent from overthinking. I guess it's all just part of the sequence. Maybe I'll grow accustomed to rappers spitting nothing or get busted by police for spitting this illegal substance. Dope enough to open up my book of rhymes and hold it up to your veins. I bet you'll overdose from the touch. The truth is not in the temple. The answer's simple. Knowledge is fundamental. College expensive. So do you have the funds to fund your mental? Money essential to living right, but most with it ain't living right. So you gotta get it in spite of the fact that just existing is really not living life. Those Jordans, you can't afford them, but it's so important to be on top of the latest fashion so your actions go according to whatever's in. The medicine for life is zanies and dead presidents. That's what you feel? You won't be satisfied until you almost get killed. I'm not sure if another life just reappears, but what I understand is that life is engineered by the one behind the wheel. Are you going to steer or volunteer your life because of fear? Is it weird to want to be in control of wherever you go? And if so, I'm the weirdest motherfucker you know. I ain't letting go because this life is my own. Another quick joint for y'all. Especially is since we got Paul in here. In that song I mentioned having my bag snatched on Halloween. And I know Paul remembers this day because it was one of those, I want to say it's 2007. And it was the first year where everybody kept on telling me that I look like T.I. They're like, you look like T.I., you look like T.I. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come dressed as T.I. for Halloween. And I just had on my little white shirt, had my hat cocked to the side. I was like, I'm walking around telling people I'm T.I. And dude legit, walked up on me and was like, who you supposed to be? And, he had, black hoodie on and everything. I'm like, I'm being goofy and shit. I'm thinking, he's a regular dude. And I'm like, oh, supposed to be, I'm T.I. And I think T.I. was locked up at that time. He's like, ain't you supposed to be locked up? I'm like, chill out, I'm trying to be funny and shit. And then he snatched my bag and ran off. I'm like, stood there in disbelief for a minute. I'm like, oh, damn. It's a bunch of people out here, fuck me, fuck my bag.
that's what it is, huh? And then I remember going home, getting my hoodie, and like going to Paul's house and being like, yo, fam, I want to find this nigga. I want to get my candy back. Like, I feel some type of way. Like, I don't like niggas thinking they can do me like that. We didn't find them. So, yeah, that year was rough. And it was also one of them years, man, that I had stacked up on some candy, G, so I still feel some type of way. So if y'all trying to donate candy, you know, to the seventh grader who got his, the seventh grader within me who still wants his Halloween candy, you know, I'd appreciate that. Yeah. So we got any more questions, Sophie? We good? Yeah. Talk to me.
Yeah. So we have one from Paul.
Hey.
And he goes, do your lyrics come before the beat or vice versa? He also commented, he said, I was there that cold Halloween. Shake my head. So, good time.
Yeah, it was rough. So yeah, it depends. Sometimes when I am in this mode, when I'm in that like that flow mode where everything is just, usually the words come first. But then there are times like with the Andre's prayer joint where I think all that was there was the sitar and the so, and that was enough to get my mind like, yep, that's all I need. Okay, nope. I'm like, Jeremy, nope. And then it just start flowing out. So sometimes the words come, and then sometimes the beat is just so fire and so inspiring, and I'm like, okay, nah, I gotta lay this down right now. So you know, it depends. Oh man, yeah. So then, what's the next one? We got Oblivion. So Oblivion this is the joint that Jeremy pushed me. He's like, listen, bro, you can sing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know if that's really my calling. So I don't tell people I can sing. I tell people I can like Drake sing. Like, you know, like Drake don't really move too far out of his range. He like, look, I got these few notes. This is the space where I'm sitting in. You know, don't put me in the realm where, you know what I'm saying, the Ushers and the Chris Browns, and I'm like, nah, I don't do that. Just, I got my range, I got my notes, and then what I'm hitting. So, so this is one of those, Oblivion.
One day we all will face oblivion. So kill me now, oblivion. I'll live forever through all the lyrics that I've ever written down. I feel it now, oblivion. Oblivion. They always told me that I would never be the one for anyone. I get it now, I'm not what you want. Settle down. You're waiting for the future, but all we ever really had was here and now. I got it figured out, here's what's going on. We walk around wishing we never go, but I know one day we all will face oblivion. So kill me now, oblivion. I'll live forever through all the lyrics that I've ever written down. Do you feel it now, oblivion? Oblivion. Kill me now, oblivion. I'll live forever through all the lyrics that I've ever written down. Do you feel it now, oblivion? I'm feeling numb. To all the voices that keep saying there's no way that I could be someone because of where I'm from, but I made it out. Today I found that life is just an illusion and love is still a language that we can't pronounce. The heart is bound to feeling down. Hope ain't enough. Tomorrow isn't promised because one day we all will face oblivion. So kill me now, oblivion. I'll live forever through all the lyrics that I have ever written down. Do you feel it now? Oblivion, oblivion. So kill me now, oblivion. I'll live forever through all the lyrics that I have ever written down. Do you feel it now? Oblivion.
We must understand that we are all saying the same things when it comes to the dances we make the movements to, when it comes to the smiles we show our children the day that they are born, when it comes to the tears that we give our parents at the day of funerals. We are all simply saying that we exist, that we are here, and that this is not by accident, that we are here with purpose, and that we are alive in this moment. We have this experience even when the sun is out and shining on us, even when the snow falls and it is cold outside, and even when it rains. Even when it rains. Yeah, that is Oblivion. That one is a really near and dear song for me, especially getting out of my comfort zone and getting to a space where I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna completely sing on this song. We not putting no bars on it. We just about to come in here and see what we gonna do with it. And the reception for that song has been nothing but positive. Everybody who I know hears it is like, who is this singing on the motherfucking joint? I'm like, that's me, yo. Like, nigga, what? So yeah. You got any more questions, Sophie? Yeah, lay it on me. Keep sending the questions in, y'all. Y'all got me here, so I gotta answer them.
Yeah, so we have, how did you come up with the jazzy poetry sound?
So the jazz poetry joint was actually just one of those things I think we kind of just stumbled upon. I knew I like jazz, so it's, earlier when we talk about major artists who influenced me, Miles Davis, Coltrane, like, you know what I'm saying, just all of, so jazz guys, that sax appeal ain't no joke, man. So one of my producers, Gabe Shy, shout out to Gabe, he plays the saxophone, and we like, yo, let's throw some of that on there, You do poetry, let's see how it sounds. And I was trying to channel my inner Love Jones. Anybody who's seen the movie Love Jones know, we get that jazz and that poetry going, you feel me? So I was one of those things where it's like, hey, I have some experience with, timing as far as jazz goes and my appreciation for jazz. I got poetry down packed. I love Love Jones. So we go see what we can make happen. So yeah, that's kind of how we stumbled upon the jazz poetry joint.
And we have one more with, how long does it take to write and record a song from start to finish?
So it depends on what is inspiring me at the time. So Andre's Prayer was pretty fast because I'm like, all right, boom, here go the song. This is everything I need to say.
And then I come in with my producer Jeremy, and we come through and we record it. And him and I are both perfectionists, so sometimes, you know, if I gotta sit in that booth and record one verse 20 times, and we just gonna record that one verse 20 times until it's perfect. And because that's just how both of us are. We wanted to have the best sound we possibly can get. So I would say from start to finish, that's difficult. I want to say writing for me usually takes a week to get 3 verses or 2 verses, or, you know, chorus and a few verses on it. The recording usually takes maybe a couple sessions, but then I got the wonderful mind of Jeremy, who's like, all right, well, we got to mix and master it, and we got to make sure it's perfect. We got to hear how it sounds in the car. You know, a lot of people are buying headphones from the gas station. We got to make sure that when they playing into their headphones, it still sounds at the level of quality that it would sound in the car. And so, you know, when he get to doing his mixing and mastering, that usually takes about a solid, like, maybe 2 weeks or so. So I would say probably like a month per song, at least close to that. Yeah. Is that all of them? Solid. Keep on sending in questions. Y'all got me here, so, you know, I'm going to answer all of them. This next joint is actually Push, and, you know, I feel like me and Paul are having story time, because this song was really inspired by him, because I remember after my cousin was murdered, I ended up texting him and telling him, like, you know, Lil John was just killed, and he's like, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm like, yeah man, I'm having trouble with it. And anybody who knows Paul, he's not a very talkative guy. He don't like emotions at all. When you get emotional, he's like, yeah. And I'm emotional as fuck, and I don't let him run away from it. I'm like, nope, nigga, I'm emotional. I'm feeling some type of way right now. And in that moment, he just told me, in the end, all things belong to the universe. And that really brought me comfort, because it made me understand that a big part of my suffering when it came to my little cousin dying was the ownership, the self part of it. It was like, this is my family, my cousin. And to be told that, you know, everything belongs to the universe. You know, he's not mine. He belongs to the universe just as much as this body does, and just as much as I do. And that made it a lot easier, at least for me, in dealing with that situation. So yeah, this is Push. My little cousin was shot in front of his aunt. Later, I stood where he died and heard the cries from his mom. His blood was still on the grass we were standing on. I tried to hold back the tears out of fear of not looking strong, but they kept flowing from the pain I felt for blaming myself. I was wrong, thinking, what the fuck were you for him? I was gone, I never had shit to say about anything that he faced. He lost his dad the same way. Who knew they'd share the same fate? That was another cycle I tried to escape, but my journey isn't the kind that everyone gets to make. I didn't do enough to keep him safe. Guilt is what I face on a day-to-day. I pray he's in a better place, and I don't even pray, my mistake. And if my heart is what you see, then hopefully when we greet, it's namaste. And if not, I understand. When karma comes around, I just tell her that she right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. I don't blame her for condemning me, because why didn't I protect the ones I love? When karma comes around, I just tell her that she's right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. I don't blame her for condemning me, because why didn't I protect the ones I love? How can I be devilish and also heaven sent? Because darkness is the prerequisite to whatever is lit. I exist because I persist and never forget the fallen ones who are now slowly floating in the mist. Feelings hitting hard, I've been fighting this shit. So many tears hit the page as I was writing this shit. John, if you're looking down, I wrote this now, so on this page you'll forever live, you'll forever be missed. In my thoughts you're immortal, but I'm just a mortal. A prisoner of time, to resign is normal. I carry you with me like you carried your mother's smile. I see you again one day, but it might be a while. So I made a song, not to sing along with, just something to play when you on some I'm alone shit. And with this verse, I promise you I'll only make my music with the truth, all the way until they bury me too. When karma comes around, I just tell her that she right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. I don't blame her for condemning me, because why did not protect the ones I love? When karma comes around, I just tell her that she right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. I don't blame her for condemning me, because why did not protect the ones I love? Look, I was never the best at taking advice. The cost of consequences, I just paid a price. The debt that I collect just reflects the mistakes that I made in life. Now all I have left is this need to make it right. My initial reaction could have been malice, but I couldn't let my compassion take the form of madness. When I heard they called you Pusha, I smiled in my sadness. You ain't know, but long ago all you had to have to say push, an acronym for praying till something happens. And maybe that's why I never stop rapping. A means to make a change in this world that we're rapping, shouting words to the universe, hoping you would catch them. And the joy you feel from what you hear is everlasting. Hopefully by the end I can see you again and tell you your little brother lived to be the man we knew he could be. And your sister's still a genius, and your mom's finally found peace. R.I.P. When karma comes around, I just tell her that she right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. I don't blame her for condemning me, because why did not protect the ones I love? When karma comes around, I just tell her that she right. Someone has to balance the inequities of life. Maybe everything happens just because we can't always protect the ones we love. Yeah. So that one just push. My phone is out here going off. Okay, yes. So I have to take one really quick moment. So earlier when we was talking about me overworking myself and having seizures, well now I have to take medication for this to make sure I don't be out here having seizures. So give me 1 second. My alarm is going off telling me I need to take this. So 1 moment. While I'm taking this, send in all your questions. Hurry up. All right, talk to me, Sophie.
Yeah, we have one. Do you ever get choked up when performing emotional songs?
Yeah, I kind of got a little choked up just right now, actually. Um, Especially because I was thinking about when we made this song. This is the first song that we made on the album, because I knew that I wanted to come and tell Lil Jon's story on the album. And I remember sitting with Jeremy and putting in the first verse, and he's like, this isn't it. So he's like, really sit with this feeling, like really sit with what you're talking about. Like, this is a really emotional song, and you should really sit with that. And I remember explaining to him the story, and like getting choked up, and like I was like, okay. And then I tried to record it immediately, and it didn't work. And I'm like, give me, let me try it again. And then doing it that second time, it came out exactly how we wanted it. And remembering that moment, sometimes it chokes me up still, because I just remember so vividly, not only how much Lil Jon's murder affected me, but the amount of pressure I put on myself in trying to tell his story, and trying to represent him as accurately as I can. Um, yeah, so get choked up a lot. Yeah. Is that the only question? Solid. Okay. So before we get into this last one, because I want to share with y'all that I've been reading this book called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Hold on. And in the book, he has a separate story in the book. It's like a little short story. And I want to say the story is something along the lines of, I want to say it's titled like There Are No Dragons or something like that. Something along those lines. And in the story, there's this little boy. He wakes up and he finds like this little cat-sized dragon at the end of his bed. And he immediately goes to his mother and is like, Mom, there's a dragon in the house. And the mother's like, there's no dragon in the house. He just is ignoring it. There's no dragon in the house. And the dragon is eating up the little boy's food, and it's slowly growing bigger and bigger. And he's like, Mom, there's a dragon in the house. And she's like, boy, no dragon in the house. And it's noticeably going larger and larger to the point where like its wings is sticking out of the windows of the house. And the mother is still like moving around the dragon. And he's like, Mama, I know you see this dragon. She's like, there's no dragon in this house. And the dragon essentially grows to the point where it flaps his wings and rips the entire house from the ground. And the dad comes home. He's like, what the fuck? What the hell is my house? What's going on? And when it gets to that point, the mom finally is like, okay, there's a fucking dragon. And in that moment, the dragon returns back to a cat-sized dragon. And she asks her son, it's like, well, if it could have been a cat-sized dragon the whole time, then like, why didn't it just do that? And the boy's response was, well, maybe he just wanted to be seen. And this story is a metaphor for our life and issues that we are ignoring. There's a bunch of things that are happening right now within us and around us that we know that we should face right now, but we aren't. And we are letting our cat-sized dragons become house-sized dragons and ripping the foundation of who we are and what our values are. We're allowing it to be swept from under us. But it isn't until we look at our dragons and truly try to face them that they'll return to the small cat-sized dragons that they are. So I would encourage everybody to slay your dragons while they are still in their cave. Do not wait for them to come to your home. The sword I'm using to slay my dragons is music. And hopefully, throughout this time, when this pandemic and everything going on, you're finding your sword. And you're going out to go slay your own dragons. And that's what this last song is. Home team. Can we turn me up in the monitors just a little bit?
Deep in the earth, like cleats in the dirt, seeking the reason that we've been hurt in the street with teeth in the curb. The outer world is hard, my inner demons are worse. So tell me why not releasing when I'm not receiving the perks of amendments you said I'm giving. Have you seen that the first supposedly guarantees my freedom for speaking words? Hard to fathom when you can't imagine there be no hateful action by crooked ones in badges who try to slave the masses. Oh, it's okay to take a life if the person's average. Murder one of mine, I'll turn this place to ashes. I know you peep it, the people see it, the evil you keep releasing. Is it so inconvenient to treat us as so indecent? I tell you my life matters. How is there a disagreement? It doesn't take a genius to know that folks are owed a certain code of small respect. So if you don't, then let me know, what do y'all expect? Whenever y'all reject your main role, which is y'all protect. You kill a man, then that's a family that y'all affect. Sit still and be detained is what y'all suggest. You call that arrest? Well, I call it death. Until everybody gone.
Until everybody gone, fight on. Until everybody gone, fight on, fight on. Until everybody gone, until everybody gone, fight on. Until everybody gone, Fight on, fight on, until everybody gone, until everybody gone. Fight on, until everybody gone. Fight on, fight on.
Pigs hate me for my pigment. You a bigot cause you ignorant. This the land of the free and the home of the wicked. Truthfully, I don't really get it. Explain to me in an instance. You killing an unarmed person and still deserving forgiveness? Nigga, how? Michael Brown, hands up, still shot him down. George Floyd, heard his voice, killed him on the ground. Rakia Boyd destroyed, nigga, wow. Y'all even killing women now. De-escalation is a concept. It will work if your mindset wasn't solely fixated on hatred. Where is your conscience? Non-existent till we burn a building, let's be honest. You want a conversation, but save it, we way beyond it. You want me on the crucifix for calling out your ruthlessness. Protect and serve, word, homie, prove it then. You should be moving right through your unit, removing whoever Judas is. But the law made you a lunatic. Property over people, mentality of the evil, as if a broken system shouldn't have an upheaval. Look, this is not a riot when my people are dying, cause if we didn't fight it, you convince them that we like it. So
until everybody gone, until everybody gone. Fight on, until everybody gone. Fight on, fight on, until everybody gone, until everybody gone. Fight on, until everybody gone. Fight on, fight on, until everybody gone, until everybody gone. Fight on, until everybody gone. Fight on, fight on.
So that was Fight On. That single will be dropping soon. Before I get out of here, I want to make sure we got all our questions. That was good. We got no more new questions. Okay, solid. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, vibing with me. Again, my name is Andre Davis, and I appreciate y'all. So, thank you.